Now, when it comes to golf equipment, it's fair to say that the big four brands often steal the headlines when it comes to new drivers, irons, etc. But actually there is an awful lot of other products out there that we feel doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And in this video, we're going to touch on the 3 most underrated golf clubs of 2024. Joe, how would you define underrated when it comes to golf clubs in particular?
Tough one, isn't it? But I think for me, it would be clubs that I've tested and that I've used that I know are really, really good, that maybe I don't see in as many bags as I might expect to. Would that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you've tested a lot of clubs down the years, and I think in this video we're going to highlight some absolute crackers that might well save you a few quid, but also will give you a little bit more choice if you're looking to upgrade certain areas of your bag. Right, Joe, first club in the most underrated clubs video of 2024. We're all excited to see what you've gone for. What is it?
Well, I've gone with the driver, and yeah, this is comfortably my most underrated driver of 2024, and it's the PXG 0311 Black Ops driver. And this is a standard model. There is a tour model, which we might talk about in a minute as well, but I actually went down to be fitted for this at the PXG London South store, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. So the main tech story here is about what they call their AMF base technology, which they claim increases deflection, increases launch, and just gives you that little bit more ball speed and control, spin a bit better. And I have to say it performed really well. But the thing I noticed most about it in all of my testing is the sound and the feel. They did loads of work on this. They got in some real acoustic experts from other industries to work on things like pitch and frequency, and they've absolutely nailed it. I wondered when I had the fitting whether it was just because I was indoor and the acoustics were great, but you get it outside and it actually sounds great as well. Shall I show you?
You've talked the talk, let's hear one.
Yeah, so I mean, when you put it in behind the ball, the head shape's great as well, which I'll talk about, but in terms of the audio there, just a really nice sort of, it's not too high pitch, it's not too dull, and it's pretty quick. I mean, that's good for me. That's a club head speed of 118 and a bit, nearly 173 miles an hour of ball speed. That spin number is something I see a little bit. That's just a fraction on the high side for me at about 2,800, which is why the tour model works a little bit better for me. But for a lot of people, you maybe don't swing it at 118, just that little bit of extra spin can be really, really useful. And that's why I love it. I think it's great. Yeah,
it's got a real presence when you, I mean, hit another one for us, just so, you know, because you turn that one over a little bit, you can definitely sense, you know, when you hit it, it's got a real powerful oomph to it, which I love. I love the look of it as well, really clean. It's a bit of graphics on the top, but not too much.
Yeah, just the head profile as well is great. I mean, it's quite busy. There's like a multi-material crown going on, so you can see seams and lines and stuff. But in terms of just a pure head profile, it's lovely and rounded. It's not too deep, not too shallow.
Let's see another one then.
Yeah, let's get one out there, shall we? A little bit more like it.
Strike. I mean, how does it compare with the major driver launches of 2024 in terms of numbers? Obviously, we're getting around about sort of 173 ball speed here.
Yeah, very comparable with anything. Like I say, you know, it's my job. I've tested all these drivers, your TaylorMade, your Callaway, your Ping, everything, and that's a really comparable ball speed number there for me, about 173 miles per hour. That's pretty much where I live. Like I said, again, very consistent on spin as well. It's always just a little bit above that 2,500 number for me. That was a better one. I got more launch on that, so it's basically carried 300 yards. But like I said, with 2 models in this family, one that really brings that spin down, CG's a little bit more forward and really takes the spin off that Tour 1 model. I just think as a family of drivers, the looks, the feel and the performance, they're really, really underrated.
There you go, so that's our first choice. I think it's hard to argue with Joe's argument there. If you're looking for a driver that sneaks under the radar, the PXG Black Ops could be the one. So before we move on to the next underrated club, I just want to ask, have you subscribed to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel?
Of course I have. The content's brilliant, it's free, and I'm on it.
So am I.
Have you?
Right, so that's the driver polished off. Now, Joe, I can see we're talking about irons. You can try and hide it, but I have seen it, but I don't know exactly what iron you're going to talk about. So what is your most underrated iron of 2024, please?
I've gone a little bit maybe family actually, so it's the Wilson Staff Model family. That includes this blade, the Staff Model blade, and the Staff Model CB. And if you're looking for any justification, well, look no further, just look at it. It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I love the look of it, it's awesome.
I don't know if I've seen a better looking iron than that. It's got beautiful nods of old with these sort of extended ferrules and a bit of gnarling around the hosel. There's some real nods to the old history of Wilson, but there's also some more modern branding, and the high gloss chrome just looks fantastic. down behind the ball. The head shapes are just absolutely beautiful. In blade, you don't often get much tech, and that's pretty much the case here as well, but there is a little bit inbuilt here. So Wilson have been quite clever and realised that the blade market is going to be sort of geared toward maybe the better player, and the predominant better player missed with irons tends to be a little bit left. So they've actually put a little bit more weighting in the toe side of this club internally to stop that toe rotating over and take left out of play a little bit. So it's actually a blade, this one, with a little bit of assistance, which is absolutely great. Also, from a finance point of view, we're all thinking about money nowadays, they're actually a little bit cheaper than some of the major stuff. So for 7 irons, just over £1,000, and quite often you're pushing the 12, 13, 1400 quid mark with some of the other brands. So there is some real value to be had here, as well as the quality. And in terms of feel and workability, it's just
Well, let's hit one away so everyone can sort of experience what it feels like. Oh yeah, very nice.
Let's just flush out the middle of the club. There's not many better feelings than a really pure forged blade like that. The numbers all stack up as well. That's pretty much bang on where I need to carry my 7 iron, 175, 176. Spin rate's good. I find them really workable, knocking them down, moving it around. They're just a beautiful irons. And if you're one of those people who want something that maybe not everyone's got in the bag and you want to stand out a bit, this is a real statement piece, I think.
Yeah, it's great to have those two options for the better play. Obviously, you've got this one, which is a pure blade, gives you that ultimate workability. But if you want that super soft feel with some playability, you've got that CB. And I think that's going to give you a little bit more insurance for those sort of low handicap golfers. You want to play an iron like this, it's a really good option, isn't it, to have? It
really is, and you're not compromising on looks at all. When you put the CB down in the playing position alongside the blade, you couldn't tell them apart. They're the same blade length, similar top line, so you're not compromising on the look at all. You may be just getting a bit more perimeter weighting, but I think I'm a little bit in love with this one.
I'm going to put you under pressure now. Let's see a draw and a fade. You've talked about the creativity and the workability you can use with these irons. I think better players like to shape the ball into certain pins, certain shots. So let's hit a draw first of all. Yep, that's a beautiful ball flight, curving right back over the pin.
Yeah, that's
so you've got the draw in the locker, so it's doing what you're saying it's going to do.
Again, from a numbers point of view, that's what I'd expect. It's gone up a few yards in carry, so 179, and the spin's dropped off a little bit because I've hooded the face a little bit. So they just always do what they're supposed to do, these irons. So a little bit of a hold-off fade now.
Let's see it. Oh yeah.
A little bit lower on the face, that actually, that was interesting.
Yeah, but it had the shape to it that you were trying to hit, didn't it? So it's sort of done what you've asked it to do. It's delivered.
It dropped off a little bit and spin went up with the fade. So yeah, it's pretty much what I wanted. It's workable, it looks beautiful. It's not that expensive. It's just really good and really underrated.
There you have it. Wilson really pack a punch in the iron market, and these two models, the staff models, the CB and the blade, definitely worth considering.
Right, Joel. That's my two choices done, and I'm quite pleased with those. Now we've come to the putting green for your choices. We've got putter or family of putters. What is it?
Yeah, it's a family of putters, and it's by the brand Cleveland, which a lot of golfers associate with wedges. Obviously, they make some very good wedges, but I think these putters in particular, this new range, the HB Soft 2 range, is really underrated. There's a few reasons why. The first is the price. So these come in at £139 retail. You can get them for cheaper than that, around about the £120, which is, you know, a good half the price of the majority of the mainstream putter brands out there. You get a comprehensive choice, so 9 different models. And what I like about these putters in particular is how they feel. So I think a lot of golfers in the shopping in the sort of mid to high handicap bracket tend to play a distance orientated golf ball, quite a firm golf ball. And I think that would marry up really well with the soft feel you get from these putters. As the name suggests, HB Soft 2, these are probably one of the softer feeling putters you'll get on the market. And I'll demonstrate this number 1 model, which is a really nice, yes please. That's a, so this is a really nice answer shaped style putter. Love the grip on it, a really tacky texture to it. Nice long blade length heel to toe on this putter. And you'll see, I just pushed it slightly, but a really crisp feel. And what I also like about what Cleveland have done with this putter is you've got some grooves on the face here which are progressive. So there's sort of more grooves in the center of the face, it disperses wider to slightly less grooves. So essentially taking grooves or material out of the face, the center of the face, in essentially slowing down the center hits, speeding up the off-center hits to make it more consistent wherever you hit the ball on the face. And from the testing I've done, long range putting, I found the rollout to be really consistent on those mid and long range putts. So I really enjoyed the feel and also the consistency of them as well.
Sometimes with putters in this sort of price bracket, you lack choice. Are there any sort of customization options with this?
Yeah, so as I said, there's 9 different shapes. I'm just swap over here for you now because this is a 35-inch option here in the Retrieve model, which is the mallet shape I also really like. And because it's all the models that are 35 inches or longer, you get a 20 gram counterbalance weight in the top. So that just gives you slightly more of a pendulum style stroke. I think maybe if you struggle to release the putter, this is going to give you a bit more encouragement to do that. And from the testing I've done, that sort of feeling of the shaft and the way it's been balanced just gives you a little bit more ability to square it up a bit more naturally. So this is a shape I really like. Hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate one that goes in the centre of the hole, because there is an added benefit of this particular model which requires me to hold the putt. So there we go, stroke it in the middle, and then with this Retrieve model, you can even use it to retrieve, as the name suggests, the ball out of the hole. So a multifaceted putter, loads of benefits. If you don't like bending down to pick your ball out of your putter, you've got a bad back, that's a really good option to have. But generally speaking, this particular model, really soft feeling, nice and forgiving, and it's not going to break the bank, coming in under 140 pounds. So hopefully you enjoyed that video shining a spotlight on some of the clubs that have snuck under the radar this year. But that's all from us here at Centurion Golf Club. We'll see you next time.